He's a good big man alternative.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
So we're talking about Walker Kessler. Yes, the Walker. You don't know who he is. Yeah, you do. You know who he is. Walker Kessler. I have to say, dude, after looking at his highlights and going over them, I have to say I'm highly impressed, especially on the defensive end of this game. But before we get into that really quickly, thank you guys so much once again for giving me your thoughts on who you believe I should look up and who I should talk about. We have a lot of people. We've done a lot of people. Pause. But a lot of draft prospects that we've went over, and we're going to continue to do that while I'm gone, because this is Past Clan. I am not here right now. I am out of town, but you know what? I have to give you guys that juicy content no matter what. So we're talking about Walker Kessler. Once again, let's go over his stats first, and let's see what stands out to us. So overall, he is 7'1", super big, 245 pounds. So that's a pretty good size in my opinion. I think that gives you enough versatility where even though you're so tall, 245 pounds, that is not a lot of pounds, but it should help with your mobility, and it definitely helps with his. So points, 11.7 points, 8.2 rebounds, 0.9 assists, 62.5 field goal percentage. Not bad whatsoever. So scrolling down, what stands out to you? I'm gonna give you guys a second. If you don't know who he is, then this should be pretty fun. What stands out to you? It's like Blue's Clues. What's the clue? You were correct. It is the blocks. Oh my God, dude. Like, against LSU in December, he had 11 blocks. February 12th against was that Texas? I think that's Texas. Yeah, Texas A&M. Texas A&M, he had 12 blocks. And throughout his entire college career, at least this season, this year, he is putting up a stupid amount of blocks. If it's not 12 or 11, it's still in the really great range. Steal wise, pretty high as well. We had 3 steals, steal. So he gets quite a few steals as well. So obviously it's very apparent that what he does well is defense. And because of his size, I won't say that he's a hawk as far as rebounding. He is a really good rebounder, don't get me wrong, but it also kind of comes with the territory. Now, not every big man that's 7'1" is a good rebounder, but I kind of expect that from him, and that might not be a cool thing to say, but I do just expect it. Now, one thing that I didn't expect, which is decent nonetheless, and even though overall the stat is bad, is 60% from the free throw percentage, but there's been some games here and there where I was like, it's not terrible. He doesn't get to the line a lot, but man, you can't really argue with 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 6 for 7, especially when you're freaking 7'1". So overall, very solid defender. Very solid defender. Offensively, I wasn't stupidly impressed. He's not bad by any means. He has some pretty good footwork, but he is the definition, in my opinion, of a guy that you go ahead and grab if you can't get a solid defensive center in the free agency, or if you already have superstars established. Now, here's the problem. This is kind of the big problem with him, which it's not anything against him. It's just there's so many different options till I don't know if I would take it. But he is projected, and I've looked around, and yes, it's pretty consistent, you know, on different websites, that he's projected around mid-first round pick. I don't know if I would take him a first or mid-round pick. Not to say that he's expendable necessarily. I mean, this amount of defense with that height is very impressive, but I just think that the state that the Spurs are in right now, it would make more sense to make sure you're established as far as your superstar talent before you get a guy like this. So he would have to go further down in the draft for me to pick him up. But overall, he seems to have a really cool attitude, really good kid, and defense is stupid good, like stupid good. So that will be a question, whether or not are you going to keep Jakob? Are you going to move Jakob and just put this guy in place. Like, it will really depend on what you want to do with that big man position. For instance, now this might be a weird comment, but before we get in pros and cons, I do want to say this. If the Spurs were to somehow, some way get a superstar big, DeAndre Ayton, we're talking about, I think that this will be a very fine pickup. I think this would make most sense. But like I said, you have to have at least somebody on the team that's an established superstar. Now, Lonnie Walker is really good, and it looks like he's going to earn his way right back into the San Antonio Spurs spotlight. And obviously, DeJounte Murray is an all-star, but we still don't have that guy that stands out as, oh yeah, definite superstar. And getting a DeAndre Ayton, I think pairing him with a Walker Kessler would be gorgeous. It will be beautiful. So overall, just look at his pros and cons and see if any of this I disagree with or agree with. So decent low post scorer. I think that's the I think that's the perfect adjective for his post scoring. He's decent. It literally is decent. It's nothing that stands out where I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. But footwork is good, fundamentally sound, not bad whatsoever. He's just decent. Excels at scoring on off-ball motion plays. I think they say that about everybody. I'm about to start missing that or just like skipping over that. Has stretch big potential. I've seen that as well. Quite a few highlights of him. He has a pretty nice mid-range shot for sure. But it also seems like one of those where teams are kind of living with it. They're not getting up on him like crazy, but like I said, I mean, like, really young, who knows? But 3-point percent, I think this is where they're getting that from, is that he's attempting threes. He's at least attempting them, but he does have a pretty decent mid-range shot. So I do agree with that. Sets good screens for his teammates on offense. Yes. Oh, one thing I would like to mention as well, speaking of screens, very good communicator. Anything defense and on the offensive end when it comes to screens, great speaker of the ball. Like, he is communicating continuously. He looks comfortable all the time. So that's something else that's pretty positive about him. Solid rebounder, of course. Solid defender, of course. Great shot blocker. I mean, that's an understatement. Has solid strength. Dude, this is some really good descriptions on this one. Not all of these are good, but I feel like this Walker Kessler one is spot on. Good motor, yeah. And as I said, I think that goes into the communication. He has a good motor. He has really good communication. Always engaged. Cons. Needs to improve his outside shot, of course. And seems like he's willing, so that's good. He is willing to improve it. He's trying. Needs to improve his free throw shooting. We talked about that. Like I said, he doesn't get to the line a lot, but there's a few games in here that's not that bad. 3 for 4, 3 for 4, 6 for 7. I mean, I can't get mad at 7-footer. Needs to improve his playmaking skills. Once again, I mean, I'm not expecting you to be Jokic, you know? You're 7'1". I don't know. Can struggle to guard quicker players. Obviously, he's 7'1". Can be foul prone. Only an average athlete. Definitely agree with that. Did not play much as a freshman. I didn't know about that, so we just learned something new, or at least I learned something new. You guys probably already knew. You guys big brain. I'm small brain. My brain tiny. Okay. Walker Kessler is a strong physical center that played his freshman season at North Carolina before transferring to Auburn. He's a skilled scorer that can operate out of the post, also has the capability to knock down outside shots, and is also a very good shot blocker that can help his team protect the paint. He was bruised on the bench on North Carolina, but he played well in limited minutes. He is having a terrific season at Auburn, and he could be good find for an NBA team in the 2022 draft. Okay, so I did know about this, and as I said many a times, usually I've looked at the stats a little bit, and I've definitely looked at a lot of highlights of them, and then when I go into this, I like to go into it blind just to see if I agree or disagree. And I was not aware of his freshman year, so I must say, okay. That actually contextualizes this to a degree that gives me a little bit more leeway on him. The fact that he's a sophomore but technically really a freshman, it sounds, this is stupid impressive, like stupidly impressive. So his upside is very high, and that's probably where that mid-range or first round pick is kind of coming from. But yeah, overall, man, he's getting the notoriety, as you can see, All-American honor. So people recognize him as that guy. They're recognizing him as a very good player. So we'll sit back, we'll see. But you guys let me know what you think. And also, I keep saying this, man. Listen, if you want to support the channel, please do, man. It's only $2 per month. Patreon and YouTube members, link in the description. I'll give it to you guys later. Until next time, deuces.